This podcast was recorded on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
Hello and welcome to The Real Story with Joe Hildebrand. We have got a very, very special edition of the show for you to celebrate Easter, the rising of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. Plus, well, she's just an awesome chick and we get her on every time we possibly can. I thought we would go through the most cringe-worthy moments of the campaign and also do something completely different. Forget news poll, forget the focus groups. What do the stars say about our two leaders, one of whom will be Prime Minister on May the 3rd? And to join me to get through all this, to open your minds and open your eyes, is none other than my next guest. Well, just when you thought this election campaign had everything, I offer you the only thing that you can give a campaign that has everything. Sarah Harris.
Oh, jeez.
She is my sister from another mister.
You are my brother from another mother.
She is the most famous person I know.
Excluding yourself.
She's the only famous person I know. So we need the clicks. She's hot on the gram. Hot on the gram.
Am I?
I think so.
Oh no, Joe.
And she's also an incredibly insightful and strangely overlooked political analyst. I'm surprised you haven't been on Insiders.
Did that hurt saying that?
It's
Was that like coughing up a fur ball?
No, I found
Passing a
it surprisingly. It flowed off the tongue surprisingly easily, which I suppose points to the fact that I'm a chronic liar.
You should go into politics.
I should go into politics. No, I never. I'm like George Washington. I never tell a lie, and you are incredibly astute. But what you also are, and this is why I've got you here today, you are a channeler of the nation's youth. You are the host of The Project, for anyone who didn't know and who couldn't possibly know that. You are also the co-host of a very youth-oriented daytime television program called Studio 10.
Was that youth-oriented?
Oh, yeah. Most of the audience were barely over 65. and so you're what I like to call the Rosetta Stone of The Real Story. You're the Tower of Babel. You can translate what is happening on the campaign trail to what the youth are picking up. Because
this is important, right?
It is important because they can vote now. It's terrible.
Gen Z and millennials, they are going to be the biggest cohort of voters this election.
Even though they don't know what the word cohort means.
Precisely. So I have been trying. You actually said youth the correct way. It's Australia's youth. Youth, man. Youth.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm the youth whisperer. I'm right up there with all the terminology, the mid, the skibbities, the Ohios.
What's
she ate?
I don't know what any of those.
Neither do I. Look, I actually was asking my kid in the car on the way here what is cool to say. And he's like, oh, Mum, cringe. But look, it got me thinking because this election it's been pretty diabolically boring.
Well, it's also been a bit cringe.
Yeah, so cringe.
Because our reporters are out there on the ground. The Daily Telegraph, we've got youth on our news team, and they are out on the ground and they're like filing live breaking coverage saying, oh, Labor did this today. It was so cringe, whatever. But can't even be bothered. Can't be bothered even like writing about it because it's so cringe.
You haven't quite got the vocal fry right, but there you go. No, but there have been bright spots throughout the campaign. I mean, something that we get excited about are like totally cringe for the youth. So I thought we'd go through the top 5.
Fantastic. I'm very excited by this. So you've brought in the 5 most cringe moments of the campaign. Mm-hmm. Number 1.
All right. Should we kick it off with...
Oh, I see what you did there.
With Dutton
kicking
kicking heads with a footy.
For a Queenslander, Peter Dutton is pretty handy with a footy. A little too accurate with the Sharon for camera operator Gaith Nadia.
Oh, go on in.
All made good with an apology and some bandages.
Go get your beer this afternoon.
They press pack now, ducking for cover.
Let that be a warning to the rest of us.
Oh, his puns were worse than yours.
Let's talk about the shame of drawing blood when you're on the sports field. I don't think he quite knew at the start.
I don't think he did either. It was excruciating. I felt really sorry for Dutton in this one.
Of course. And look, I think it was all kind of smoothed over, but it's not a good look. Do you remember ScoMo when he tackled
the kid? I think the kid's still in the ground somewhere. You could use him as a golfing tee.
Oh, my God. So that must have
Yeah.
been pretty clear or fresh in the minds of Liberal Party staffers going to this footy field just going, right, just stay away from the little kids.
So he's in the NT, which is just a footy mad territory. They love their AFL there. And Dutz kicks the ball. I remembered it.
It was a great kick.
See, that's how I remembered it.
great
And I
punt.
described it as a textbook drop punt. You know what? It wasn't. It was a slightly wobbling kind of torpedo, and no one does torpedoes anymore. A colleague of yours.
A colleague of mine.
So that must have really, thoughts and prayers. That must have really.
Well, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him.
You must have just surely when someone at
When
someone
one
at
of
Channel
my
10
own.
surely when someone at Channel 10 gets hit in the head with a football, everyone kind of goes, oh, what was that? And you just sense something like Leia senses something when Luke's hurting by Darth Vader.
I felt bad for Dutton because immediately after he kind of kicked the ball, he's like,
so your mate the camo is the one that gets hit and you feel sorry for them. That is typical talent behaviour. That is a typical on-air attitude.
You didn't even remember the runner's name on Studio 10 for the first 10
Yeah,
years, remember? I
do.
told you her name was...
Mate.
Yeah, there we go. But it... Not only did he draw blood, he tried to joke it off at first.
Yeah, that's what, we didn't know that the blood was there.
Well, no, he's like,
oh, got him.
No, he said, that wasn't a great mark. Which is kind of hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Bought him a beer, but
I know,
why
it's
do politicians
never touch a ball?
Why do they insist on going to sporting fields? Like we've
Don't
seen,
do it. Yeah, I know,
we've seen
never
John
do it.
Howard, we've seen
Yep.
Kevin Rudd in the handball. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's right. And John Howard
Which
nearly
they
got
call
killed. Bob Hawke, nearly got killed by a cricket ball. And then John Howard couldn't even bowl a cricket ball.
I know.
Just leave the balls alone.
Side note: Victorians
all ways.
don't call handball handball. They
Call it Foursquare. That's what we called it.
No, it's something weird. Downball or something.
I don't think that's very politically correct. Sarah. Anyway, cringe moment number 2.
Oh, not including that one? Great.
2.8.
Okay, number
Yep.
2. For me, this was something that was really badly handled. I mean, if a Prime Minister falls off a stage, all the
nobody
cameras
sees it,
film
and nobody
it,
hears it. Did he really
everyone
fall?
sees it. Did he really fall?
Well, no, he didn't. He told us himself.
Let's listen.
I stepped back one step. I didn't fall off the stage. Just one leg went down, but I was sweet.
So this was the PM at an event in Newcastle, if memory serves, or thereabouts, and he went on ABC in Newcastle. I think it was later that day or the next day,
Yeah.
and says, and the host says, "So about that fall, are you okay?" He goes, "Oh no, I didn't fall. What are you talking about?"
And I kind of think that's insane because when I first saw the fall, I was like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. Because we've got a friend whose husband stepped back off a pretty low stage and really badly injured himself, became a quadriplegic actually.
Whoa.
So, it was quite like there was a feeling of, oh gosh, I hope he's okay. But then for him to come out and say, don't believe your eyes, don't believe what you just saw. That wasn't me falling. It's like, dude, you had our sympathy. Why are you trying to gaslight us now? It was such a strange way to spin it.
Do you know why I think he said that? Or do you know? Okay, do you want my theory? And I say this. I say theory. I can guarantee you this is exactly what is going on and why I said it. He genuinely doesn't think he fell. He absolutely. And again, I've seen this
So
with
it's like when you and I are out on the town having a drink.
Right. I was fine to drive.
No.
What?
Never say that. Not even as a joke.
No.
No, when I've been out with you before and a bit unsteady on my feet, I didn't fall. I just stepped back.
Stepped back. That's right. No, it's because it's like that, but in a different way. So where, for example, you do something in a state, and someone would say, "Hey, what'd you do?" And you go, "I didn't do that. That wasn't me." I've seen people Very, very smart, very, very high-powered people do that. And I've listened to face-to-face, even just talking privately, politicians say with absolute conviction that black was white. And it's not that they're deliberately lying and they're trying to lead you on a merry dance. It's because to become a politician, to last that long, frankly, without throwing yourself off a bridge, because it is just such a tough game, and you've got so many people coming at you, you actually have to tell yourself stuff. When something like that happens, you actually have to tell yourself that things didn't happen or that it wasn't
buying that.
No,
I'm not
absolutely.
buying
And I can guarantee you.
So you know that Anzac Bridge, it's for sale. You want to buy it?
It's the Harbour Bridge that I'm already buying. I don't need another one. Right. But so he wouldn't have seen the footage of him falling. He would never have watched it.
He would have spoken to all of those people, Joe Boy. He would have spoken to all the people coming up to him afterwards going, Matt, are you all right?
Yeah, that's right. But he would have had all his staff around him saying, it's not to, no, it was fine. No, you didn't. And he would have told himself that, and he would have gone out and said that, because that's the only way you can keep going.
Well, I feel like someone in here has fallen and hit their head. Next up. This was so weird.
This was weird, yeah.
The Labor launch.
Yeah.
Tanya Plibersek.
Yeah.
Goes in
Yep.
for a peck on the cheek. Not only does he refute her, Anthony Albanese, he grabs both of her fists and pushes her away. Do we have sound of that?
let's have sound of
the sound
Anthony
of doves
Albanese
crying,
grabbing Tanya Plibersek's fists.
Tanya, the cameras at Labor's launch caught a bit of an awkward moment between you and the Prime Minister. It looks like you're going in for the hug. Here we go. Going in, but he's kind of just grabbed your hands, done the Orcs thing where he's done the double shake. Was that... Oh, we put in the sound effect. Joe, was that a bit Orcs? What happened there?
Do you know what? I reckon we should still all be elbow bumping, because during an election campaign, the last thing you want is to catch a cold from someone. So that's on me. I should have done the elbow bump, I reckon.
You two still getting along?
Yeah, of course.
Yep, someone certainly bumped elbow on the weekend.
Oh, wow. Great questioning there by Nat. Love her.
Yeah, that's Nat Barr from Sunrise, of course, friend of the show.
But who was it? The same spinner that told Albo, just tell everyone you didn't fall over, you just stood back, that said to her, oh yeah, let's run the COVID line.
Whoever came up with the COVID thing, that was just...
After Jodie then leant in for the kiss and gave her a smooch. If Tanya's germs get on Jodie, I guess they're going to get on Albo.
It's just...
Makes no sense.
That one made absolutely zero sense, and that was obviously them just scrambling to come up with an explanation for what was a kind of inexplicable but also very explicable moment. Like, it was so weird. Firstly,
is there bad blood?
Oh, I could tell you everything. So basically, yes, there is, and perhaps not in the way that you would.
Can you give me the TLDR version?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Tanya, so Albo ran against Bill Shorten, who has been his political nemesis since forever, right? And the way the Labor Party rules work now is it's a rank and file vote, and whoever gets, more than 50% of that, it wins that vote. And then there's a caucus vote, and whoever gets 50% or more of that, they win that. And then you average out both of those things. So if you do better in the rank and file vote than your opponent does in the caucus vote, you win, and it's all weighted out, and that's how the leaders decided. Now, Albo and Shorten both ran against each other with everybody knowing who their deputies were going to be. Shorten was going to run with Tanya Plibersek, who even people on the right considered a big talent. Albo was going to run with Richard Marles, who strangely enough was a factional rival to Bill Shorten in his home state of Victoria. They both run, and Albo wins the rank and file vote, and Shorten, with Plibersek on his ticket, whether it's known or not, but the fact that it was so widely known that Tanya would be his deputy, Albo felt that that then gave license to members of his own left faction to basically vote for Shorten instead of voting for him. And worse still, it was members of the opposite sub-faction. So there's two factions.
Okay, can I stop you for a second?
How long have we got? You said
TLDR.
Anyway.
Tanya wanted to be PM, and she actually said, just a few months ago, right, that she could have won.
I don't
well.
think she ever would have had the support in the caucus. And I know people go around saying that, but that's not
guess
what
we'll never know,
Albo. That's
as
not what
Kanye
Albo would have
says.
been worried about. He wasn't worried about her as a threat. He was worried about what he would have seen as her treachery and him undermining his control of the left machine, which he is meant to rule with an iron fist.
That's why he didn't give her an air pick.
And so I think what happens, and then he's since overridden a whole bunch of decisions that she was about to make or nearly made or would have made or coulda, woulda, shoulda as Environment Minister, because they would have all been toxic in this election, especially in WA and in Tasmania.
Yep.
And then this is the weird thing that happens, and it's that moment where you've got someone. Now, does he lean into her and she doesn't,
she
or
led
she
into
lends
him.
into him? And it seemed to be a bit of a thing.
Yeah.
But what do you do if it's someone? Because surely, right,
Joe.
If it's someone even Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd kissed when they passed
That's
the
right.
carbon tax. If you hate someone, that's what you do. You kiss them and you
Yep.
make it look like you really. This is what does my head in.
It looks like Tanya handed him the olive branch, and he snapped it and then
Snapped it
jumped
over his
on
knee
it and
set
then
fire to
continued
it.
walking. It was very weird. But,
See-
it's so interesting how just like half a second on camera can spawn these different
I
narratives.
reckon it was just
but-
like one of those awkward moments where it's like when you bump into your ex and your wife's standing next to you and you go,
his ex.
no, not his. Tanya's not his ex, but
Oh.
like it's like when you, like me, like you see an ex, right? But your current's next to you, your wife or whoever's next to you, and you don't know. Do you hug and kiss the ex like you would normally, or do you not do that because that would then make it look like you like them too much in front of your person? Or do you think if you don't do that and then it's weird that you're not doing that, that might make your wife think that you still like them
All
because
right.
you're not doing
I
it?
think the fact that she was handed the environment portfolio says how much he likes her. Shall we
That
move
is
on
just a
to
hospital
the
pass.
last?
Yes.
The very last cringe. Oh, actually,
Well, it's a
there's actually
double-
there are a couple
it's
of
a double
parts to
last,
this
yeah.
because this year I think this is really smart. Actually, seeing social media influencers and podcasters going into the budget to take the message to younger people, but I mean, worse than us trying to rock the Gen Z lingo at the start of the show. Albo
Was it a budget because of Cos he lives?
Let's have a listen to what he said.
Well, Mr. Speaker, they are Delulu with no Salulu, Mr. Speaker. They are completely delusional.
Oh, that took years off my life, but not his. So
Now I know what it feels like when I try to wear Adidas Sambas
Yeah.
and like over the ankle socks. Like people can see straight through me.
Obviously, Sarah is saying that knowing full well that I'm currently wearing Adidas Sambas.
Oh no, I've got a pair too. We
We
should just accept our
we're just
fate.
mad.
We're middle-aged.
We are the Rishi Sunak.
However,
yes.
even more embarrassing was the Liberals hitting back with a Kendrick Lamar-inspired diss track.
Diss track. That's when you know it's on till the break of dawn.
Have a listen.
Bring them prices down. This is what we need. Cause Albo's gotta leave. Albo's gotta leave. Hey, situation is critical. Rent prices are at the pinnacle. We gotta redirect the focus. I'm just keeping it real when I'm telling you. There's something that's gotta change. Open your eyes. Labor ladder by bringing the price of electricity down over 97 times.
Wow.
I'm not going to lie.
Sarah-
The more I hear it, the catchier it gets.
It's actually quite really gross on you. For those who are just listening to us, I've got to tell you, Sarah Harris just dropped it like it's hot.
Yeah, I was twerking.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, got to
But
think of an
it's-
exit strategy, don't you, Joe?
It was dropped and it's stayed dropped.
Yeah, dropped like a hot pie.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, how do they
Well,
in what? Like, okay, I get it. We're talking about it, but we're not the people who they want to
not
talk
targeted
about
to
it. It's not
us.
targeted to us.
Well, I went
so
through
what is
some-
the thinking behind
I
that?
went through some of the comments on SoundCloud, which at the time of recording had about 20,000
Mm-hmm.
listens. It's gotten a lot of exposure. But the comments were like, this is why young Liberals deserve to be bullied.
No, that's not.
It was like,
That's not
wow,
desirable
it
nor
was
true.
Savage. The response to it has been savage. It's been mocked by people. It's like so much kind of sarcastic kind of resistance to this song.
And like, even if you were targeting young people with a diss track, why would your point of attack be Albo's, poor fiscal and economic management? Do you know what I mean? Like, is that what's really going to
Yeah.
energize? I mean, at least the Greens, I mean, just deluded and crazy and live in a complete fantasy land. But at least they go around promising things that young people care. Like, you're never ever going to have to pay rent ever again because we're just going to make a law saying you don't have to.
But do you know what? What's also interesting is that the singer, we keep hearing it's an unknown singer.
Who is it? That's right.
They think it's AI.
No.
Yeah. Because no rapper wanted to put their name.
Maybe it's Will AI Am.
Remember in 2022, the Libs also dropped like a dubstep version of There's a Hole in My Budget?
Yes. How did that work out for them? That's why they're still in government to this very day.
Making music, mate.
Well, I think it's fair to say we've given the listeners something that they haven't really got before during this campaign, Sarah Harris, and I thank you for that on behalf of them.
Is that my twerking?
And
you don't see Laurie Oakes twerking, do you?
You don't see Laurie Oakes twerking, and that's the difference between you and him, and the only one. Okay, well, look, we've promised big, and it's fair to say that, Sarah Harris, you have over-delivered already in the first segment, but now we are taking it to the next level. You are going to reveal who Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton really are, as well as the PM's actual wedding date. We'll save that for the end. But first of all, talk us through the precise metrics through which you are going to analyse the PM and the opposition leader. What sort of psychological, analytical, political, evidence-based tools are you going to use to deconstruct their personalities?
Well, Joe, as we pointed out at the start of the show, millennials and Gen Zs, they are going to hold a lot of power during this election. But look, forget the polls, forget the research, because it's actually been found that millennials and Gen Z are embracing mystical services. I mean, they're more likely to consult.
I used to know her.
They're more likely to consult a psychic over a psychiatrist.
Right. Okay.
And apparently,
maybe why they're suffering from chronic levels of mental illness. But anyway, as you were, continue.
No, this often happens during times of stress, anxiety, and collective trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, look, I'm a middle-aged.
Great.
I'm an elder millennial.
You are.
With not a lot of hope left.
You're a millennial.
So I really am into stars.
Great,
and
yes.
Astrology, not astronomy. That's the other one.
No, Katy Perry's into astronomy. You're into astrology.
So I've consulted the stars with an accurate prediction of what's in store for both leaders on May 3rd, okay?
Oh, so this is their horoscope for May 3rd.
Yeah.
For both leaders. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, I've narrowed it right down. Before we get the big prediction, I just want to tell you a little bit about both leaders, their star signs and their qualities. And I want to see if any of these ring true. We'll start with Albo. He's a Pisces.
Oh, okay.
So his positive traits are he's empathetic, he deeply understands and shares other people's emotions, he's intuitive, he goes with his gut instinct.
That comes up in the polling, actually, the real actual polling when they talk about the quality. So there you go.
Science.
Could have saved the money.
It's science. Compassionate, he cares deeply about people, and he's loyal. He is devoted to people he loves and trusts. However, the negative traits, he's indecisive. Struggles to make firm choices under pressure. Unrealistic, can be out of touch with practical matters.
You're like Redbridge.
Easily influenced, can absorb other people's opinions or get swayed by stronger personalities, and can be passive and lack assertiveness.
Wow. Like that is like a focus group.
Right. Stand by for Dutton.
Okay, Duts.
Peter Dutton is a Scorpio.
Oh, that fits, yeah.
Sting in the tail.
Yeah. Well, he's tough.
Positive traits. He's ambitious. He wants power, progress, and purpose. He's strategic. He's always thinking 5 steps ahead.
Right. Power, progress, and purpose. That could be an actual
Right.
coalition campaign slogan for Peter Dutton. This is
excellent in business and planning. He's independent. He doesn't need validation or approval. And he's resilient. That's right. He's resilient. He's a quiet force of nature. But there are negative traits. Controlling. He wants things done his way. He's emotionally guarded. He builds walls that even he can't explain, Joe.
Like Donald Trump.
Vengeful. If you cross him once, he won't let it go. And he is obsessive. Can fixate on people, projects or problems. Now, I have dated both Scorpio and Pisces men, and I can say story checks out.
Wow. Okay?
All right.
I've got nothing to add. That was absolutely perfect.
Okay, before we get to polling day, another prediction.
Yep.
All right. The big one, the love prediction. I know you're angling for an invite. Otherwise, you wouldn't be defending him so much.
I love him in a different kind of way.
According to the stars, Albo and Jodie, and mark this down in your calendar. I'm willing to make a bet on this, place a bet. Mark it down. He will marry Jodie in November. Because for Pisces, this is when positive developments in love are expected.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. Got anything on that month, Joe?
No, although I think Peter Dutton's got his birthday around then, so that would be maybe they could all
get an
just
invite.
together. Well, he's too strong and stoic to accept it, even if
Do you
he
reckon
did.
Tanya's on the guest list?
Oh, that's just
Probably a bridesmaid.
it's unkind.
Yeah.
She might be sitting on Jodie's side, judging by the comment.
All right, let's get down to it. Okay.
So May 3rd, Election Day, what do the stars say?
The day after Election Day will May the 4th be with Albo or Dutton. How have you not even used that line yet as a Star Wars tragic?
That's so cringe that Albo has actually used that line.
All right, whatever.
So that's
Okay,
that's the
here is
company
the
you're keeping.
reading for Pisces, Albo, on May 3rd. May 3 presents a moderately favourable day for Pisces. New karmic lessons
Sounds like minority government.
around income and job may arise.
So new karmic lessons?
Mm-hmm.
See, again, well, that sounds like minority government, whereas the polls are saying majority government. So like a karmic lesson, unless the stars think he's done a really good job over the past 3 years and the karma is he's going to get an increased majority.
And also, he's a Pisces, a lot of Greens voters, pescatarians, the fish. Want to hear Duttons?
Yep.
All right. May the 3rd, Scorpio individuals are likely to experience a favourable day for career advancement. The planetary alignments suggest that your dedication and efficiency at work may be recognised, potentially leading to new responsibilities and opportunities.
Oh my God, Peter Dutton's going to win the election. It's written in the stars.
It's on the cards.
So there you have it. Peter Dutton is going to win the election on May 3. It is written in the stars. No further correspondence can be entered into. The stars never lie. The stars never get it wrong.
Well,
they are what?
Well, look, I mean, I think it's science, but not everyone agrees.
You've got to trust the science.
I'm not sure if you remember this very clearly. But about 10 years ago, when we were on Studio 10, we had the psychic medium to the stars, Sharina Star.
Or as I like to call it, Polster to the stars.
Right? Star with 2 R's. She was on the show. And we also had a young Malcolm Turnbull before he was Prime Minister on the Studio 10 couch. And it was
Sharina would have seen.
It was you, Joe Hildebrand, that asked the defining question of that interview.
Me and Sarah Ferguson.
Will Malcolm Turnbull be Prime Minister of Australia?
Right along, Malcolm's right that he's not going to contest the Prime Ministership because he doesn't want to be really deep down. There's always he won't be Prime Minister. Wow. But you're going to go on to some bigger and better things. You've got these projects, you've got all these projects and you've got tremendous wealth coming through and you've got world trips. You're going to have fame and more television contracts.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. What could be better than that?
We are looking for a permanent fifth panellist, Malcolm.
Well, better a fifth panellist than a fifth columnist.
Oh, very droll, Malcolm. Very droll. I wish I could adequately describe the expression on Malcolm Turnbull's face.
Oh, my God, it was so good. He was just looking at her like, I want to rip your throat out.
It was also kind of, you don't read much, do you?
But
Malcolm Turnbull, not only is he not going to become Prime Minister, he's not even going to try because he doesn't really want it.
Doesn't want it. And also, you've got a big career in TV.
It's only so many episodes of Q&A you can do.
Is it over yet?
Sarah Harris, I feel like it's over for us because I don't think we can ever top that bravura performance. I feel like politics has been explained to me in a way that I've simply never understood it before. And I have, as with so many other things in my life, I have you to thank for that. So I'll let us both return to our equally successful careers. And I'll probably see you in the car park. Thank you so much for joining us on The Real Story.
Yep. Go the democracy sausage. Make sure you chuck some onions on it. Bye.
That's all we have time for this week. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. You can, of course, go to wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a rating. Give us a review. Tell us how awesome we are. We already know, but there might be some others who don't. You can drop me a line via Instagram on @Joe_Hildebrand or on email, therealstory@Nova Podcast. So not like a in a circle, the real story, but as in the word the real story that is a in a circle, novapodcasts.com.au. And of course, if you want to read me, you can see me every day. If you're a subscriber to the Daily Telegraph or any News Corp mastheads, do my daily election analysis. But you can always just listen to my dulcet tones do the exact same thing every week right here just for you. See you next time.